Yuji said awakening isn't bliss. It's a calamity. So why did I write a book called You Are Happiness?
Tradition promises you bliss. Sat-chit-ananda, being, consciousness, bliss. The self is happiness. Wake up and you'll drown in joy. I believed that enough that I wrote a whole book called You Are Happiness. And then there's Yuji Krishnamurti, who looked you dead in the eye and said, it is not blissful. In his words, it is not ecstatic, blissful, and all that rubbish, stuff and nonsense. It is really a painful thing. He didn't even call his awakening a blessing. He called it the calamity. So which is it, bliss or calamity? And how does a man who wrote You Are Happiness end up loving the teacher who says happiness has nothing to do with it? Stay with me. This one cuts close to home. Yuji is merciless here, and is the place seekers least want to follow him. When his transformation finally came, it wasn't golden light and waves of love. It was a physical event so violent, he called it the calamity, his words. I call all of these events a calamity because from the point of view of one who thinks this is something fantastic, blissful, full of love, ecstasy, this is physical torture. And he went further, straight at the heart of every spiritual promise. Your natural state has no relationship whatsoever with the religious state of bliss and ecstasy. They lie within the field of experience. They are thought-induced states of being, and as they come, so do they go. Yuji isn't just grumpy about bliss, he's making a precise point. Every blissful, ecstatic, loving spiritual high you've ever had or chased is an experience. And experiences are produced by thought, and what comes, goes. The rapture in meditation, the waves of love at the retreat, the light, all of it, temporary. All of it, to Yuji, the opposite of the real thing, because the real thing isn't an experience at all. And yet, sat-chit-ananda. For thousands of years, the deepest traditions have insisted that your very nature is bliss. Not a passing feeling, your being. Nisargadatta said it. The yogis sang it. And I planted my own flag on it. You are happiness. I meant it. And I still do. So is it all naive? Or the sages and I just selling the rapture Yuji is debunking? Here's the thing. And it's why I love Yuji instead of arguing with him. In all my books, I say the same thing he does. About the highs. Don't chase the transcendent experience. The expansion, the bliss wave, the vision. I had those, and I tell my readers plainly they are not enlightenment. They come, they go. Chasing them is the trap. So Yuji and I already agree completely about bliss as an experience. It's a dead end. We're not on opposite sides at all. We're disagreeing about one word and what it points to. Here's how bliss and calamity turn out to be the same event, seen from two different ends. Yuji is describing the dying. The natural state arrives when the psychological self, the me, with all its wanting, is destroyed. And from the point of view of that self, its own death is not pleasant. It's a calamity. Of course it is. You're describing an execution from the perspective of the condemned. The traditions are describing who's left once that death is complete. Not a feeling the self gets. The self is gone. But what remains is a being with no one inside it suffering, no one wanting, no gap between it and the moment. The old word for that is ananda, not pleasure, the absence of the one who is never at peace. So the bliss the sages mean was never the rapture Yuji attacks. It's not a high. It has no opposite. It doesn't come and go because it isn't an experience. It's the ground that's there when all the experiences quiet down. And that's exactly what I mean by you are happiness. Not you will feel great all the time. You won't. I don't. It means the happiness isn't out ahead of you in some better experience. It's what you are underneath the one who keeps chasing better experiences. Yuji strips the word bliss off it on purpose, because the second you call it bliss, the seeker starts hunting a feeling, and the hunt is the whole problem. He'd rather hand you a calamity than a carrot, but the place his calamity leaves him, no psychological suffering, the body simply living, no one inside grasping, that is the same still ground that traditions clumsily, lovingly called bliss. Calamity going in, peace coming out, same door. I chased the highs for years, the expansion experiences, the meditation rapture. I was sure those were the destination. The traditions had convinced me the prize was a feeling, and I collected them like a man filling his pockets at a fire sale. Those experiences walked me right to the edge of the cliff. They gave me the longing, the taste, the certainty that something real was there. And then Yuji pushed me off by taking away the very thing I thought I was climbing toward. It's not the high, it's not the bliss. Stop collecting feelings. He cut the rope I was hanging the whole search on. And what I fell into wasn't rapture. It was quieter than that, and far more durable. Not a feeling that arrives and leaves, just the ordinary, unshakable okayness of being, with no one inside it demanding more. The traditions would call it Ananda. Yuji would refuse to call it anything. I wrote a small book and called it Happiness. We're all pointing at the same still ground.
So, bliss or calamity? Yes, it's a calamity for the one who has to die. It's the only real happiness for whatever's left when he does. If you've been chasing the spiritual high, this is the most freeing thing that I can tell you. Stop. The thing you have always wanted was never a better experience. It's about the peace underneath the experiences. And you already are that. I wrote about that ground in You Are Happiness, and about the death that uncovers it in I Do Not Exist, and Neither Do You, and I Don't Care. All linked below in the description. Subscribe, and I'll see you at the next contradiction. And remember, don't go looking for bliss. Go looking for the one who keeps looking, and watch him disappear.